We're here on the second floor of City Hall for the Rhinelander Common Council meeting. Agenda's been posted, media's been notified. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Here.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Luke Kramer.
Here.
Kerry Mikulowski.
Here.
Gerald Anderson.
Here.
Thomas Barnett.
Here.
Bob Luter.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Chris Hannes.
Here. We do have quorum. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to number 4, which is public comment. I have Tom Giroux. Oh, nope, this is just public comment in general, not the hearing.
Do you want me to speak at the public hearing or now?
That would be the appropriate time if that's
All right.
the topic. Okay. I have a Maggie from Congressman Tiffany's office.
Hello. I'll just take a couple minutes of your time. The congressman has asked us to come to different meetings in our district and let you know something that's very exciting that is happening in Washington this week. He has a bill for making the Apostle Islands up in Bayfield County a national park. And with that comes economic growth, increased jobs, economic development, those types of things. And we're really excited about that. With that also comes federal funding and state funding to build up those communities, to enhance the shorelines, create those jobs that we all need in Wisconsin. Tourism spikes in places that have economic development around a national park. This would be Wisconsin's first and only national park. So watch for that. We're real excited about it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our office. And I do want to mention, for those that are worried about the hunting part of it, it does maintain a hunting access area. So that is part of the bill. He kept that from the feedback that he got. So if you have any questions, contact our office, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. So we do have a public hearing regarding the Messer Street utility project. At that moment is when you would speak regarding that. So was there any other topics anyone would like to speak on for public comment? Not seeing. Do any of the alders have any public comment? Okay. Moving on to number 5, mayor's comments. I have none at this point. Moving on to number 6, administration report. I refer to our city administrator.
Nothing outside of what was submitted in the packet.
Any discussion or questions for Patrick? Not seeing. Moving on to the public hearing. So this is a public hearing regarding the intent for USDA funding for the 2025 Messer Street utility and street project. Does anyone want to speak on this topic? Mr. Tom Giroux?
That would be me. So Tom Giroux, City Forester. This is one of the more heavily forested neighborhoods in Rhinelander. And so replacing the trees that need to come down when you do this type of project is going to be a challenge. Particularly on the Oneida Street, I estimate it's going to take me about 3 years under how you currently budget to replace those trees. Then you add this project on top and we get way behind. And I appreciate Alder Kramer mentioning this last meeting, that if we can plan for the trees and put it on the loans, the low interest loans, it's much more affordable. The other thing is, the Parks Department does the planting, and when we put a lot of trees like we did 2 years ago on their schedule, it's really a challenge. They're strapped. They planted 100 trees, and Jeremy was just about, that was about the capacity he could do. So you had a large project like this, it would be nice if the trees were planted by a contractor and it saved the city staff to work on more important priorities. So that's my comment. And I think Mark has indicated that he's willing to work with us on this. So thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for the public hearing on Messer? Yep, if you could just come to the podium, state your name.
Jerry Fitzgerald, 1015 Thayer. In the course of the presentation, maybe it's already planned, but I would appreciate if the engineers could specifically address the utilities that run on what's Block 2, bordered by Messer, Hodag Drive, Thayer, and Fremont Street. What's the plans for the water, sewer, and electrical, phone, and communication lines? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments for the public hearing? Okay, so since it's a public hearing, before I could close it, I have to ask 3 times. So for the second time, is there anyone who would like to speak on this public hearing for Messer Street? Not seeing, so for the third and final time, anyone like to speak on the USD funding for the utility and street project on Messer Street? Okay, not seeing, I'm going to close the public hearing. Moving on to 8A, which is a presentation of the street projects that are currently underway by Mark from Town and Country Engineering.
Thank you, Mayor. Oneida project, we're really down to punch list items. We have some asphalt repairs to do, some concrete repairs to do, and some finalizing some striping, and some grass restoration. So we're in the final throes, less Grant Street, as we discussed. We'll be starting at the end of July, and that'll take 4 to 6 weeks. So we're close to wrapping that project up. Any questions? Timber Drive, you'll notice that the asphalt patches were removed today. They'll be paving those patches back in tomorrow. And the final surface of asphalt will be within the next couple of weeks. So it'll definitely be in the month of August. But the repairs that they're doing right now are just on the base layer of asphalt. So when the contractor comes in to do Grant Street, he will also be doing the sewer repair at Timber Heights and Timber Drive. That should take a day or two. Once that's done, they'll be doing the paving. So I would imagine mid-August, somewhere in there, very dependent on American schedule at this point. Pelican Street, which is on the agenda tonight for award. The contractor is the same contractor that is doing the paving on Oneida, and they're anticipating starting work there mid-August, and that should be a 2 to 3 day project tops. So that's what we have for ongoing projects. Just to address Messer, I know there's some people in the audience that are came here concerned about that. I do have a couple maps that I can hand out if people are curious about the areas that will be reconstructed. I'll give a quick recap, if that's okay, Mayor.
Sure.
So Lakeshore, Evergreen, Messer, Rose, Fremont, and Hodag Drive will all be street and utility reconstruction. Sidewalks will be added. 2 blocks of Pearl from Evergreen to Thayer will be reconstructed. There are currently no utilities on that, less storm sewer. So that will be a street reconstruction portion. There'll be some storm sewer added on that. But for the most part, that will solely be a street reconstruction project. We're also looking at adding part of Hodag Drive going from Messer down to the lake, where the parking is in bad shape, and it's on the city plan to expand that parking. So we'll be adding parking down there as well. This project will be funded, as we heard in the hearing. We applied for rural development funding. We applied for safe drinking water funding. So rural development will cover the sewer main. They are also willing to cover all the street construction and storm construction. They do not cover any water. Safe drinking water would cover water. If it's similar to the Oneida project, and it's very similar in cost to the Oneida project, we're hoping about $6 million in rural development funding. This is speculation at this point. Please don't hold me to any of these numbers. We haven't got anything back from the funding agencies. About $4 million in safe drinking water. Those are going to fluctuate a little bit. And we're looking at an approximate city share of about $360,000. I will say the city has received LRIP funds through DOT for $400,000. That's for street reconstruction, and that's a 50-50 match. How that funding has worked in the past is, say rural development pays some of the street portion, we can use that as a match, so it doesn't have to come out of pocket from the city. It just has to come from some other source, but there's $400,000 in matching funds there. That hinges on putting sidewalk at Hodag Park, which was a resolution that council passed a couple years ago when that application was applied for. So there are some stipulations to that, but everything that fits into the preliminary plan thus far. And again, I have some maps with me. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to take a look at those, I can hand those out as well.
I do have one question more referring to Oneida and Timber Drive project. So I know we did utilities, water, sewer, waste. Bug Tussel's also doing some other utility projects, not connected to ours, but the timing is the same. How has been the relationship as far as the patching, the cleaning of the earth, grass, and all that? Is those kind of working out pretty well with each other, or can the residents expect still some cleanup by them after we conclude?
They can expect some cleanup by them. So we've identified a lot of areas that it's not so much Bug Tussle. From what we've identified as Frontier has been doing a lot of work on timber as well. And they damaged some of the bike path, so that will be repaved, and that bill would be going to Frontier. As far as any of the patching work, the grass restoration, we'll notify them if they don't send somebody out to do that. So we are on that as well, just to follow up with them and make sure everything gets restored.
Cool, thank you. Was there anything any of the aldermen have for Mark? Oh, thank you so much.
Mayor, if I may, Mark, I'm not sure if you said it, but on August 14th at 6 p.m. we'll be having a public meeting for this for the Messer Street project. It should be held right here, open for everybody to come out and ask questions and find out more about the project.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 9. So this was brought forward by our Council President, Carrie Michalowski, and I think it's a wonderful thing, so I'd like to turn the floor over to her to give us a little background knowledge.
Thanks, Mayor. So this has been the 2-year-long project that the city has been working with Art Start and One Nation, One Project for this Arts for Everybody initiative. The big reveal date is going to be this Saturday at Hodag Park. So I invite everyone down to witness that and be part of the celebration. This is going to be along with the 17 other cities throughout the nation that is part of the One Nation, One Project. And we're all 18 cities are revealing their art piece the same day. So it's kind of a big deal. It's going to get some national coverage. It's going to be on Good Morning America, I think, CBS This Morning, I think. One of the morning news shows, I think it was on Kelly Clarkson's show. A few celebrities are going to be endorsing it too, so it's kind of a big deal, and it's really cool that Rhinelander was selected as one of the cities to partake in this. So excited, everybody come down. Starts at 3:30 till 8, I believe. It's going to start with a little skate park jam at the temporary skate park. And then there's going to be some speakers, a free meal. The VFW is going to be cooking out there for us. And then the reveal of the art piece. So if everyone can make a point to come down, that'd be great.
Cool. Thank you so much for bringing it to our attention. So one of the awesome responsibilities I have as mayor is being able to do proclamations. So let it be known that we are doing this as of July 27, 24. So in the city of Rhinelander, it would be known as Art and Health Day in celebration of this partnership with Art Start as well as just the arts in our community. Okay. So with that, moving on to number 10, consent agenda. We have the meeting minutes from July 15th, Common Council meeting.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Kramer, second.
Motion second, any discussion? Not seeing, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those who abstain, oppose, motion passes. Moving on to 11A, ordinances, none apply for this meeting. Number 12, unfinished business, none apply for this meeting. 13, introduction of new business, A. Discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2024-95. This is a fee waiver request for the Cycle Without Age fundraiser. I refer to our city administrator.
Sure. The city clerk received this, when was it, Austin? Was it last week or the week before? You received, oh, okay. Yeah, the city clerk's office received this request looking to use a park shelter.
So we're looking for a motion. We would recommend waiving.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2024-95, approving a fee waiver request for the August 15th, 2024 Cycling Without Age fundraiser from Cycling Without Age Violence in the United Counties.
Chopak, second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Mr. Barnett?
Yeah, I'm just, for some clarification, what, it says violence in Oneida counties. What are we involved with this for?
I honestly don't know. They look to use the park shelter there. Again, this came in through the clerk's office, so know that they had a fee waiver request.
And I think, from my understanding, is Cycling Without Age, this is the Vilas and Oneida County chapter of the organization.
Mr. Anderson?
I have nothing particular on this request other than, do we have any idea how much we've waived so far this year in fees?
I believe we have a rough number, of Austin.
Yes, I can get that number if you'd like, and I can present it at the next council meeting, or I can send it to you. We keep a living spreadsheet of all the events that have been waived, just because I know some people have been curious about the monetary value of all of them.
Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Jopek?
With that request, can we, and it might be on there when you provide it, but just can we get a description, basically what waivers, sorry, I can't speak today, what waivers were for 501c3s, what ones were for private, anything like that, just so we can see that delineation.
So my understanding, all have been nonprofit, minus half for the music in the park. So probably the other thing that would be useful is waiving fees that were, like, from staff point of view, you know, like staff members being out there versus just fees for reserving. That way you could see a hard cost of what has the city incurred from a cost point of view versus just from a revenue loss point of view. Might be useful.
In the spreadsheet, we have it like whether it's the park shelter fees, the special event fees, all the different kind of categories of fees. Then it's all broken down by that, so you can kind of see how much is all in there.
Anyone else for discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie McLowski.
Abstain.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 13B, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2024-96, approving the insurance of an outdoor firework display permit for Hodag BMX. I believe this is at West Side Park they're looking to do for an anniversary.
Yes, it is. So I don't know if either of the chiefs have any comment they'd like to make.
So seems like they're in favor of this.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2024-96, approving the issuance of an outdoor fireworks display permit to Hodag BMX.
McCloskey, second.
I would say Michalowski since she was first. So we have a motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Barnett?
How, just out of curiosity, how big of a fireworks display are we talking about? Are we talking like 4th of July display, or are we talking about a couple of boom booms?
It looks like a 4th of July style. If you read the packing list that they have in here, it looks like it's going to be a little bit larger than something you do in your backyard. So.
Okay.
And I should also say the city has been named as an additional insured, which is always important.
Mr. Kramer?
Also, just curiosity, I know with the Hodag Park, when we had the 4th of July one, they actually showed a radius of where the safety zone was going to be. Do we know anything like that on how big of a safety zone we'll have?
Yeah.
For the neighborhood that's around there, it's a lot more condensed than Hodag Park.
Yeah, that's a good question. They submitted a package. The person or the company that's doing the fireworks is a professional organization, much like the one that does the fireworks down for the 4th of July. They're insured, bonded, they have everything that they need. They've identified all their areas. We've spoke with them, and we're gonna have our own inspections and stuff to ensure that we have proper distances and everything prior to them lighting off, along with winds and everything, and we withhold the right to cancel them for any reasons that we see fit for a safety issue.
Mr. Jopek?
Is this something that we could put out through the city page, just notifying residents that it's something in that area that's going to be happening that night, just so that they're not caught off guard?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And since it's a community event, it's one that we would typically promote on our Facebook too for the community. So, any other discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Carrie McLowski.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 13C. And this would be discussing action and/or action proposed resolution 2024-97. This would be for an open intoxicant permit for the all-class reunion for downtown. I refer to our city administrator.
Basically, looking for an open and tox permit like they do every year.
Holt, I will make a motion. I'm sorry.
No, it'll be okay.
I will make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2024-97, approving the issuance of an open intoxicants permit for the August 10th, 2024 all-class reunion event.
Jopek, second.
Okay, we have a motion second. I don't know if our chief or police, if you just want to kind of describe the area this would include and your thoughts and if there were any issues in the past.
The ability to drink on the city streets would be contained to just the downtown area. That will be roped off and be basically Brown and Davenport is the area of their event. We do, you may waive some fees, but the fees for my officers to be there are not waived. So they'll be paying, we'll reduce the number of hours that we have to be there based upon the activity that we've seen now for several years. We don't need to be there as long. We can arrive a little bit later in the afternoon than earlier in the day. As to other issues in the past, it's a tradition in northern Wisconsin, so there's mass consumption. With that comes your typical EMS calls for service when people get a little intoxicated and step off a curb or miss a curb, or there's been some injuries in the past due to that. But law enforcement presence and EMS presence has helped reduce anything from being anything serious. It's a busy night for my officers when they're down there. And we have to have additional staff on because we also have the rest of the community to police. We just can't be responsible for being down there. The only other thing is it gets, last year there was an issue with the band wanting to go later than what the permit allowed. So my staff had to inform them that your permit stops at this time, and that's when you have to stop the music. And then there's just a large overflow of people lingering in that area, and then they go off to different area establishments. So my staff has to stay until bar time, just because of the large number of people that are downtown consuming alcohol and making sure everybody's safe.
So we have a motion second. Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 13D, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2024-98. This would be approving a recommendation by Town and Country Engineering to award a bid for the mill and overlay of Pelican Street to Northeast Asphalt for $75,000. So as you guys know, the city itself has replaced some of the curb and gutter there that is failing. So this would be a bid to grind the top, I believe 3 inches if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe that's about right.
Yeah, of the blacktop, the pan of the old existing curb and gutter, and then do a new asphalt on top. This was budgeted for $80,000, so it actually came slightly under budget for us. So I would recommend we move forward on it.
And actually, a correction is it's 1.5 inches.
Nope, 1.5. So it would be similar to the project on Lower Street we did a couple years ago on the west side.
Joe Peck moved to approve resolution number 2024-98, approving the recommendation from Town and Country Engineering to award the contract for the Pelican Street Improvements Project to Northeast Asphalt Incorporated for $75,371.50.
Felton, second.
Motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Motion passes. Discuss, we'll be moving on to 13E, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2024-99. This would be amending the development agreement between the City of Rhinelander and Settlers Village. I refer to our city attorney.
Yeah, we needed to make changes because under the settlers agreement, the property was one parcel and now it's being divided into 2 parcels. What we really did is change the agreement so that it applies only to the remaining parcels, but the obligation to repay the cost of the initial $100,000 for the lot still remains in full force and effect for the 20 years. So if the tax increment isn't accomplished on the existing parcel that is being retained, that the developer would be responsible. All we did is basically take out the portion that there's no longer going to be owned by the developer.
Mr. Jopek?
So how does that, just for my personal awareness, how does that influence if the whole parcel of land we sold to them, but now they're splitting it in half and being held accountable to the one that they've improved? What about the other half that we still originally sold to them? Is that just going to...
Well, the concept, Mr. Jopek, would be that they would have gotten money for selling the other parcel, and if they needed money, it would have to come out of the money they got from selling the other parcel, that they should have got the increased valuation that would come over. But they wanted to do this, and the new person didn't have an obligation under that development agreement because they didn't get the land for nothing. Whereas the original developer got the land for nothing, but now he has sold the land and presumably made a profit on the sale of the land. So that's why it's justifiable that only the original project has that obligation.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm asking to have them held to that or whatever, but I was just curious what happens to that other half if the money they make off of selling that land, then make sure that the city's repaid for what we sold according to the original agreement, or
well,
whatnot?
The agreement is that they've got 20 years to pay us, and we could have, I suppose, tried to accelerate the agreement, but I don't see any reason, if we thought that 20 years was good before, that we would now change that portion of the agreement. It just means that they're obligated to pay, and if the increment doesn't make it over that period of time, which there's no reason in the world it shouldn't, but again, they just sold the land, and I presume they made money on it. I don't think they sold it for zero, but maybe they did, in the sense of land value, not in the sense of the building value. But that's not really. They asked for this. They're agreeable to it. I think this is the appropriate way to handle it. But we just couldn't leave the lien on the other portion because that would not be fair because that person didn't sign the developer's agreement.
So the question I have for you, Steve, is the existing parcel that would still have the lien, does the value of that parcel exceed the lien amounts.
Oh, yeah, it more than exceeds $100,000, and they've
So-
already made payments.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no chance that we won't get paid.
So in this scenario, when something like that would happen, where the new parcel would not be worth the amount of the lien, that's when it gets a little hairy, but this still has more value than what our lien would be. So what all we're doing is clearing the title for that new parcel being created. That way, hopefully that gets developed, so. Any other discussion? Okay, I believe we need a motion.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2024-99, approving an amended developers agreement between the City of Rhinelander and Settlers Village.
Kramer, second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie McLowski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 13F, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2024-100. This would be approving an issuance of a Class B beer and liquor license for the Rev Coffee Bar on Thayer Street, if I'm not mistaken. Refer to our city administrator.
And I would refer to our fire chief.
So as you know, this is in the hollow. It's next to what used to be a Dinky Diner. The Dinky Diner, if you remember, burned down March 29th of 2023. After that, it was torn down. It was demoed August of 2023. And then in December of 23, the property owner of the Rev finally wrapped the side of the building, and it sat like that the entire time. We've gotten he hasn't been working with us on code compliance to get that siding up. Still hasn't pulled the proper permits, even though we've requested it from him several times. And I would request that we withhold this liquor license at this time until he gets code compliant with his facility.
So he does not currently have permits pulled at this moment?
Correct.
Austin, how many open liquor licenses do we currently have in this scenario?
So if you see in the packet where the publishing for the notice of hearing, if this were to be approved, and they are also looking to upgrade from just having a Class B beer license, now they're looking to have a Class B liquor license. So if they were approved, we would have 30 licenses and we can have 33. So we would have room for 3 more. So as of right now, we have 4 licenses that are open for Class B liquor and beer, which would be your traditional bar kind of location.
Technically, if they want to have to be able to operate, so occupancy, wouldn't they have to be inspected, pull the permits at that point?
Well, they need the occupancy, or they need the inspection for the liquor license as it is, but we haven't been able to get in there even to do the fire department side of the liquor license inspection. So because it's been closed since the time of the fire, so they wouldn't technically need another certificate of occupancy because it's not changing at all. So no, but they do need to pull the proper permits, and those permits need to be final before that they would be allowed to open.
So would you recommend that we, in theory, approve a liquor license pending those points?
Could do that.
Since we have multiple open ones and it's only good for 10 months now, 11 months?
Yeah, I would leave that open to the council, yeah.
So, Mr. Barnett?
Would you recommend that?
I would.
I want your honest opinion.
Yes. If we give them the stipulation that they need to bring it up to code compliance, allow an inspection in the building and the property, and close all permits, then yes, that would be a recommendation. As long as Steve agrees with that, obviously.
I have trouble granting a liquor license that's a conditional liquor license. I think the better approach from a legal point of view would be to hold up action on the license until the work is done. So they don't have to reapply and pay a new fee, but we could hold up action on the license until the work is done. It's the same effect, but legally it brings it back to this council, and this council gets to make a decision if it is compliant. right now, you couldn't really grant them a license because the structure is not compliant, and we couldn't really allow people to go into that structure. There may be other issues once you do have that compliance. I don't know. I don't have that kind of crystal ball.
I know Mr. Jopek, you had your hand up. Nope, you're Mr. Holt.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table proposed resolution 2024-100 until such time as the fire chief has indicated that requirements have been met.
Barnett, second.
Okay, we have a motion to table and a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
Carrie McLowski,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Bob Luter,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 14, which is communication, none apply. Moving on to 15, of future agenda items, we have A, which is American flag in Hodag Park. Anything anyone would like to add? Ms. Michalowski? Mr. Luter?
Yeah, we were just curious if because we have a public hearing coming up about the renaming of Eisenhower, if that shouldn't still be an open agenda item?
I can put it
Could
on
be,
there.
yeah, sure.
I've got it on the whiteboard to have it on the 26th, like you guys agreed to, but I'll do whatever you'd like.
Sure, we could add that on, so. Anything else for future agenda items? Okay. Next regular council meeting will be held on August 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. here. It is 6:36, meeting adjourned.